What is going on, everybody? And welcome back to the Hangout spot where you already know it's real talk, boxing talk, live from my man cave. It's your boy Johnny, and I am your host for another edition of the Hangout spot live. This time, the Thursday night edition. We got one hell of a show in store for you tonight. We got prospect, man. We might have a future superstar in the making here, man. Junior welterweight prospect, 5-0 with 5 NyQuils. We got Kamauriay, King Cam Walker in the building. That's right. You know how we do it up here, man. This is actually the third show that we do this week. So I just want to thank all my viewers for rocking out with me all week. Monday night, we had coach, trainer, father of the WBO welterweight champion, Brian Norman Sr. was in the building. We broke down the Boots performance and we spoke about the potential future of the WBO welterweight champion, Brian Norman Jr. That was a dope ass interview. And then yesterday we had Prince Albert Bell, undefeated lightweight now, who just won this past weekend. He's now 28-0. He was in the building, man. So for those of you guys that rocked out with us this week, I appreciate the love and support. But if you did not get a chance to rock out live, make sure you check out all my episodes at the Hangout spot on YouTube. You know the deal. There's ground rules here. If you're watching this live on YouTube, make sure you smash that like button. It is free and it will help us with the visibility of the channel. Our goal is to get this channel out into the algorithm of other boxing fans so they know we rock out 2 times, 3 times a week, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you have not subscribed to the Hangout spot, make sure you do that. That is free, like I said. More importantly, man, go tell a friend to hang out and subscribe to the Hangout spot, because this is how we doing it up in 2025, man. The biggest and best interviews, boxing content. I love to get the chat involved. If we intend to turn this train into a locomotive, we're going to need some more passengers. So make sure you subscribe and tell somebody else to subscribe. Last but not least, man, y'all know I love to get my chat involved, man. The free chat is open. But if you want to send a brother a donation, man, the super chat option is there, super stickers. And last but not least, if you want to throw a brother a bone on Cash App, it is right there scrolling at the bottom as well. I accept all donations. But I will tell you, man, you guys are going to want to ask questions because we got a very, very intriguing. We got, like I said, a young star, in my opinion, in the making. And I can't keep track of all the chats and all the questions. So if you want to ensure that your question gets answered, the best way to do that is to throw it out there in super chats, because I do see those. They do come up as color coordinated as a star message. And I'll make sure that I get your question read. So that's the best way to be able to get your question in, especially if we have a lot of people going on and chirping in the chat. But without further ado, man, like I said, man, I'm excited. I'm excited, man. This young man, out of Georgia, right now he lives in Florida, and he has an extensive amateur background. He's a 4-time national champion, 8-time Florida champion, 2016 Team USA member, man. And most impressively, as a professional, he's undefeated, 5-0 with 5 via NyQuils, baby, like my man, the Maniac says, man. So without further ado, I want to bring in my guy, Kamauriay. King Cam Walker is in the building. What's going on, chat? Welcome to the Hangout
Not
spot, man.
much. What's up, fam? Appreciate you for having me.
Nah, man, I appreciate you coming aboard, man. Hold on. Let me give the viewers a little bit of perspective who's in the building right now, man. Let me give my viewers a little bit of perspective who's in the building, because not only do we have an
Echo.
undefeated professional at 5-0 with 5 knockouts, but again, a very, very extensive amateur career. More importantly, a very decorated academic career as well. A lot of accomplishments there, man. It's rare. It's very, very rare that I get to sit down with a fighter that has not just 1 but 2 degrees in college, man. So congratulations on your accomplishments so far, man.
Thank you, thank you.
Very, very impressive, dog. Very impressive, man.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, so I saw your interview. I saw your interview this week on the Boxing Voice, and I was I was impressed, man. I was really, really impressed, because you are a very, very smart young man. You're confident, and you know where you want to go in your career. And I think that's important for a young man that is just getting his feet wet in the sport of boxing, because boxing isn't just boxing in the ring. There's also the business aspect of it as well. And it seems like you have some really, really great people surrounding you, including your dad, which we will talk about a little bit later, man. But so tell me, man, first and foremost, congratulations on your last victory. in
Thank you,
February.
thank you.
I mean, a second round knockout, but you 5 fights in your professional career. Why don't you tell me a little bit about how that feels? Like, what's the biggest difference between being an amateur and being a pro 5 fights in?
The biggest thing, honestly, the smaller glove. But besides that, the the pace. The pace is so much better. Amateurs, you got people that just come across the ring, they swinging. You don't get too much time to, place your shots, pick your shots, set up traps. So it wasn't really my game plan. Pros, I like the time I got now. It's slower pace. You got 12, 16 numerous minutes to dissect your opponent. So that's the biggest thing for me, especially being somebody that's a thinker. You get the most time I can have to think, I'm more dangerous.
What about like has your diet regimen been different? Your training regimen? I mean, obviously I know the skill level from the fighters that you're fighting in pro are different than amateurs, but has that
Mhm.
been a little bit different? Are you incorporating more sparring? How has it been training wise as a professional as opposed to an amateur?
So it's a lot more running. I do way more running. Before we got on the podcast, I just went and did another 3 miles with my weighted vest on. So I do way more running, swimming. Big thing I'm doing now, yoga, stretching. That's one of those things it's slept on in the sport, but I'm starting to get into hot yoga and stuff like that. So it helped my flexibility, breathing, all that stuff.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. Like I always like to ask that question to fighters that that are new to the professional game because it's an adjustment, man. It's a little bit different. I think another thing that I think would is beneficial for you, as a pro to amateur is you actually know more or less who you're going to be fighting, right? And the amateurs, it's almost like they're throwing guys at you, right?
Right. So you just got to adapt and adjust on the fly.
For sure, man, for sure. That's why it's very, very vital that you have the right people surrounding you, man. But why don't you let's go back a little bit, man. Let's go back a little bit. Let's get to know King Cam Walker before he became a fighter, man. Let's go back to where the journey started. So tell me, man, when did you start boxing and what inspired you to become a professional
Mm.
fighter?
I think I stepped foot in the gym around 2009 at Decatur Boxing Club. And that was the first time I stepped foot in the gym. What inspired me, I never forget it. Me and my pops was at home watching Rocky 3, eating a cup of noodles. And I was like, dang, dad, he got all this off fight? He's like, yeah, that's when he bought the new house, the new car, this, that, and the third. I was like, sheesh, off fight? He's like, yeah. So I was like, all right, man, I give it a shot. It took us I say about another 5, 6 months before he was like, all right, I'm really gonna let you do it and stuff. Cause then I think he took so long, I told him I want to do UFC. He's like, nah, you gotta learn boxing first. And then it's just been boxing ever since.
That's interesting. The Rocky part is crazy you say that because it's like Rocky became civilized, right?
Right.
In that movie, right?
I
With
was
the
like, oh, he turned
famous
his life around.
yeah, right? From a
Okay.
dude in the streets, now he's, obviously financially wealthy. That's a
Hmm.
big call out, but, so your dad didn't necessarily push you into boxing, it was more you?
Yeah, it was me. My dad was a hooper. So everybody in the family thought I was gonna play ball or something like that. So I kind of picked my own little path. It's
Yeah,
turned out
because
successful.
no, I think you made the right choice, I do, but you're also what's your height? What are you, like, 6'1", 6'2"?
Close to 6'2".
Wow, which is in boxing, I mean, especially at your weight class, I mean, that's a big advantage.
Yeah, freaking nature
I've
that way.
seen yeah, absolutely, man. It's like a unicorn, right? It's like
Yeah,
being a unicorn. There's good and there's bad with that, right? So yesterday, I don't know if you know, but I had Albert Bell, Prince Albert
mhm.
Bell, in
Yeah, I
the
know.
building, right? And that's another guy, right? 6'1", was just fighting at the, junior lightweight. Now he's a lightweight, but he has told me in the past, he's my guy, that he's had a hard time trying to get fights, and he thinks it's because of his physical stature. Like a lot of people stay away from that, right? The tall
Hmm.
guy, the guy with the reach. And I've seen you fight. I looked at some video. You use that to your advantage. I would consider you the typical boxer puncher. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. I think I kind of caught on that very, very quick, man. But you do got a little bit of dog in you. Like you got dog in you, and that's what I like, man. That's what I like to see in a young guy. right? Get it out the way early. Show that shit early, man. You know what I'm saying?
What's crazy, it took my pops used to tell me that all the time in amateurs. He's like, when you finally hit somebody, you'll never forget that feeling. You'll never forget it. And it's like I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the contact now. So it's one of those things. It's I take that chance to take one to get one now. I'm like that with it now.
Absolutely facts, man. So how long your amateur career? I think your dad talking to your dad said you had about 100 amateur fights,
Yeah, I
I
was just
believe.
one shot. I was what 76 and 23. So I finished what
Yeah, yeah,
99.
99. I was yeah, I would
Yeah,
I would
so
say 100
he's
amateur
around up.
fights. In what time frame though? How many years was that amateur those 100
I was
fights?
amateur from 2011 to maybe 2019, but 2019 I only had one fight because I was still in school and things like that. So really from 2011 to like 2017 was when I did most of my fights. We were fighting almost every weekend,
Mm.
coming up every weekend, and then skills got better, and then we used to start leaving Florida. We started going to other states and fighting things like that.
So you were born in Atlanta, in Georgia,
Yes, sir.
and when did you come to Florida?
We moved to Florida right around, I think 2012, moved to Jacksonville. And I've been in Jacksonville till I graduated college in 2018. Graduated high school in 2018. And I came down to Miami, and then my pops went back to Atlanta.
Okay. Okay. So you live in Miami now, and Pops
Mhm.
lives in Georgia. Okay. All right. All right. That's what's up. That's what's up. And you talked about fighting every week when you're an amateur, but then obviously there's school, that comes
Mhm.
into play, right? So how hard was that to navigate an amateur career, knowing that you want to turn pro, but you also want to, accomplish what you've accomplished in college, which is not 1 degree, but 2 degrees. How hard was that to manage as an amateur?
Oh, well, as far as the middle school and high school thing, that was pretty easy because you still got to think I'm coming home to dad every day, dad and coach. So he gonna make sure the schoolwork done. Going to college, especially in Miami, it was you had the temptations out there, but I had the right group of friends around me and stuff like that, and we all had the same majors, so it became a little easy because it's like, all right, they getting up to go to class, I know I got to go to class. They slacking them, you know what I'm saying? So we stayed on top of each other, made sure everything went well. We had some long nights of stressed out behind homework, and in my head, I'm like, man, I'm a boxer, man. Do I really need this? But I still get through, dedicated to it. So and school ain't cheap, so we already spent that money behind it. So you got to see it through.
So it's interesting you said that because you said it was fairly easy when you were like in middle school and in high school, but
Hmm.
I seem to think, well, speaking of personal experience, man, like when there were distractions, I wasn't really, school wasn't really the biggest priority. Like my mom used to always say she didn't even want me to work when I was
Hmm.
in school because then I wouldn't want to go to school. I'd rather work and make money. But that's pretty cool that you say that was fairly easy. I thought that would be hard because then you were younger too, right?
Yeah, but I grew up. It's one of those things. It became a routine for me. So I already know as soon as I come home from school, we at the gym. So at such an early age, it just became every day repetition for me. So I didn't even think about everything else outside of it because I knew my day pretty much started school, gym, and then whatever time I got left, that's my day. That's when I can go hang out. But that was like school and my job. I got to go to them every day. So it never crossed my mind.
Mm, that's what's up, man. Discipline at a young age. That's how I call it because and which I think will help you, in your professional boxing career because a disciplined fighter is always a more dangerous, fighter. But so tell me about college, man. I mean, like I said, it's not very often that we talk to a fighter that has 2 degrees, man. Talk to me about those degrees and what did you make? What are the extents of those degrees?
So my bachelor's is sports administration. My master's is a normal business administration degree. Um, I did it 6 years in school, so I knocked it all out. Um, like I said, the same group of friends I had my freshman year, we were across the hall roommates, and we all got our masters together. So we held each other accountable for it. Them, They might have did better in certain subjects, but that's besides the point. Um, I got a degree. What else? It was challenging at first, leaving home. Your parents got to trust you that they raised you right and stuff like that. You're out on your own. Um, Especially in a town like city like Miami, it can go left real quick down here. You fall into the wrong trap. So it took a lot of discipline, us knowing right from wrong, staying on top of each other, looking out for each other. We done had some wild nights, of course, but we made sure we was in class the very next day. Sleep in all, we was there. So, but I say right around like our junior year, we kind of got all the partying out of us, the spring breaking and all that. So we kind of got all of that out of us. So when it's time for my math, we was like, man, I'm too old to go out there with them kids, man. I'm
Okay,
22, 23. I'm like, man, I'm too old to go out there with them. I'm fine. I stay at home. So once
that's
we
what's
had that
up.
mindset, it got easier too.
Awesome, man. I love it. I love that mindset. I'm here with Prospect, man, undefeated Prospect, 5-0, 5 knockouts. Kamari King Cam Walker. He's in the building, man. And if you guys haven't hit that like button, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. And you know the deal. Get that chat going. Get that chat going. In fact, we got our first super chat from Pops himself, man. Mr. Marcus Walker is in the building with a $10 super chat.
Straight cash, homie.
Pops, man, I
I like
appreciate
that.
you, man. Thank you, father of King Cam. Absolutely. And I got to say, you have done a fantastic job, to this point. I'm going to get you in here in a little while, but I want a little bit more time with Cam because we digging in, man. We trying to get to know, not just the fighter, but the person, man. But I got to say, I obviously it's the wise decision for you to be able to, to get those degrees because you're not always going to have boxing, right? There's always going to be life after boxing. So I find it, applaudable that you're setting yourself up for a career after. But realistically, with those degrees, man, you don't have to fight. So, and I mean this as a compliment. This is more of a compliment, man. You don't really have to fight. So, what motivates you to fight?
This is what I've done my whole life. This is all I wanted to do. So I didn't try any other sports. I did the school thing just, I'm not gonna say just because it was something to do, but I can use the school to push boxing even further. Everything I did related to boxing. So without without the school thing, I don't think I could go as far. So I still gotta kind of hold it to that high level, but it's all I want to do my whole life.
Mm, okay, I'm just, and I said that more as a compliment, right?
Mhm.
Because a lot of fighters that I've spoken to, I've interviewed a ton of fighters. They'll say that they needed to fight, right? They grew up, they needed to fight, and they wanted to fight because they wanted to make a better life for themselves. But again, you have options. So I find that very, very admirable, man. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, and shout out to Donald Green, who's in the chat, man. Thanks for rocking out with us here on a Thursday night with Keem Cam Walker. And he corrected me. And you know what? You're right. You're emphasizing their current status as superstars. He's not a future superstar. He's already shining bright as a superstar in his field. You are absolutely right, man. Like I said, he's doing it inside and outside the ring. Very, very well spoken as well. Future is extremely bright. Appreciate that comment, Donald Green. I wish I could read all these. Yo, the chat is cooking. You getting a lot of love in this chat, man. People have come out for you, man. Um, God, we got look at this, man. Undefeated academic scholar showing what's possible. Madison Pena, thank you for rocking out. I appreciate that. Absolutely. Donald Green, I'm a coach of a world champion. Hannah Gabriels, who lost against Clarissa Shields, also coming back for a rematch. Donald, thank you, man. I
Thank you.
appreciate that. That's dope, man. Thanks for coming aboard and showing us love, man. You got to shoot me a DM, bro. Shoot me a DM, man, and hopefully we could hook up and get you up in here, man. I interview everybody. It don't matter. Fighters,
Let's
trainers. I've
do it.
interviewed Cutman. I've had Stitch Duran up here, man. I interview everybody. I love to get everybody's different perspective in the world of boxing, man. I am also connected in Miami, Florida with Cuban fighters as well. That's what's up. Hit me up on DM, man, and we'll chop it up. But right now, Cam, man, Cam is in the building. So tell me, man, right now you are training with the great man, Glenn Johnson, man, gentleman Glenn
Road
Johnson.
warrior.
Ooh, the Road Warrior, man. I mean, I loved watching him fight, man. I really did, and I'd love to be able to meet him one day. I'm gonna hook up with you guys at a training session.
Oh
We'll
yeah, most definitely.
we'll make that happen. I'll hook up. I'll spend a day with you. We'll get some footage. Maybe a nice live interview, man. You deserve that exposure. But what brought you to Glenn? How did that whole relationship come about?
So honestly, the school I graduated from, St. Thomas, our track and field coach is Joey Scott. So the strength and conditioning for Deontay Wilder, he's our track and field coach. So he kind of introduced us like that. Originally I was at the gym Mundo down here in Miami. What happened? Is it still going? There you go.
Sorry about that. I mean, this thing every now and then it gives me a little bit of technical difficulties. But go ahead,
Okay.
keep on, man. I'm
Yeah, I
here.
got nervous. But
Nah, you
I
good,
was
you
at
good.
I was at a gym called Mundo, and Joey saw me and stuff like that. Of course, he's still coaching track people and stuff like that. And then he told me about Glenn, and mind you, I didn't have my car. So the same friends I told you about my freshman year, they would let me borrow their car to go to the gym. So that's when I was like, all right, this real, this friendship real. But so they end up starting to take me to the gym on my Saturdays and stuff like that, working with Glenn. And I think the first day I stepped foot in the gym with him, he told me he had to see me work the bag just to even see like if it's worth his time. And he saw me, he's like, okay, I can work with this. So it's been me and Glenn been rocking 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. So
That's
I picked
dope.
up a lot of things from him.
Dude, there isn't anybody that Glenn didn't fight in his professional career. You know,
And
former
gave all of
champion.
them hell.
Exactly. Former champions been in there was the biggest and best names. For him to say that and then see something in you, man, that obviously impressed you, man. That's dope, man. That's that's a big chip on your shoulder, man. Shout out to you on that, man. How so what's your relationship? Obviously, you got the trainer and the boxer relationship, but outside of boxing, is it more like a uncle relationship, like a second dad type of relationship? How does
Oh,
that
me
whole dynamic work?
oh yeah, Glenn, that's granddad. You know what I'm saying? He give
Granddad, okay.
he granddad. I call him that in the gym. That's his name on my phone and everything. So he granddad. He advice, life advice, boxing advice, talking trash, anything. So he kind of filled that role where it's like he just old head to me now. But he family. Don't take that wrong, Glenn, if you're watching this. But he the old family member. So he he a good dude. He has my best interest, of course. Um, and like I told him every day, I was like, man, we're gonna get rich. I'm gonna get us rich, man. I promise. I'm gonna get us rich. I tell him this every day. I was like, just stay patient. We gonna get rich.
That's dope, man. That's dope, man. And shout out to your dad because your dad trained you, through
Mhm,
the ranks, right?
mhm.
So that's a unique dynamic, right? That he didn't continue to train you as you become a professional. But I think that's also very admirable of him. And that's one of the questions I do want to ask, Pops, when we get him up here in a little bit. But man, you got the Riggins family is in the building. Tommy Hearns 2.0. Yeah, man, I could definitely see that. But you know what comes to mind to me? Paul Williams, the Punisher, man.
You see,
Do you get
I
that a
had a
lot?
feeling. Him and Tommy all the time. It was crazy. My dad used to make me watch videos and be like, see, you gotta learn how to work in the inside and outside. You know what I'm saying? So just in case they do cross that threshold, you know how to work them up in the inside and then go back to using your reach. But yeah, Paul, had a chance to meet Paul in North Carolina at a show one time. He's cool dude.
Yeah, that must have been one hell of an experience. I think Pop sent me a picture of it, man. I don't know if I put it in the PowerPoint, man, but very, very impressive, man.
Mr. Lil Hook.
Mr. Left Hook, Donald Green said, again, champion is a remarkable young talent, bursting with intelligence and potential. He's ready to take on the world and make his mark, man. Listen, man, you're getting this from people that know the sport of boxing, man. Keona K, thanks for rocking out. Brains to match. Let's go, Cam. Absolutely. He's got the total package. He's got the brains and the brawn, man. David Garcia is my guy. Welcome aboard, man. That's the boxing voice community, which is also rocking out with you as well. A lot of the community member was so impressed with you, man. I was monitoring. I wasn't on the panel that day. I co-host on the evening panel sometimes. I can't do the
Mhm.
morning show because I work, but I'm always listening and looking at the chat, man. And you were getting a lot of compliments in the chat, man. Donald Green said, as a coach, I can see greatness in this young champion. It's clear that his father has played a significant role in shaping him into the exceptional individual that he is today. Absolutely, man. You got ATL represent. My man Carlos Colon Velez is
Oh yeah,
representing, man. Woo, we got my man
College
Steven
Hall of
Jackson.
Fame.
Rock on, brother, man. We got everybody. We got everybody coming out for King Cam Walker, baby. 5-0, 5-0. And I believe we got some more super chats in here. We got my man Yayan, man, with the $2 super chat. Appreciate you, Yeon, man. Like the stream chat. Yo, the chat is cooking, man. We got my homegirl 1212 Sports Society. This fight against folks was fire. This kid is sharp. I saw that. That was one of the fights that I saw.
Appreciate
1212
that,
Sports
fam.
Society. If y'all ain't rocking with her on Twitter, man. I mean, on TikTok, she be doing it up, man. She be breaking down fights. So if she said that, she know.
Thank you.
Let's move on. We got another super chat from Cosette Wellness. $5 super chat
Straight cash, homie.
with a question. What's the biggest lesson you took from your youth that has helped you grow into the champ that you are today? Great question.
Biggest thing, and my dad used to preach it, but now I finally got it. If you want something, you got to go get it. You know, I used to just sit back and be like, well, you know, I'm skilled, this, that, and the third, but I used to give away fights in the amateur just because I knew I was skilled, but I wouldn't put so much work into it because I knew my talent. Well, now I'm I'm busting my ass now. You know, so it's one of those things where if you want something, you got to go get it. You got to work for it. You know, it ain't no handouts out here, especially in the sport like this. So I grind every day, every day.
Great question and great answer. I mean, that's an absolutely phenomenal answer. Absolutely, man. If you want it, go get it, man. It's there. You know, I've said that to myself. I've said that to my daughter. You know, don't let anything get in your way, man. If you want something, go out and get it. And if you can't get into the front door, get it through the back door, but find a way to
Back
get it.
door, window, as long as you're in there.
Absolutely, man. Ravens World, appreciate you rocking out. We love you, Cam. That's
Love you
what's
too.
up. Yes. I'm telling you, man. They coming out. We got James Taylor with the $20 super chat.
Yes, sir.
Damn,
Straight cash, homie.
Jamar Taylor, I'm sorry. Jamar Taylor with the $20 super chat. My bad. I'm so excited here to have Cam here. The conversation's going phenomenal. Let's go, Cam. John Tyler Brand. It's what's underneath that counts. That's what's up.
Best underwear for athletes. The best underwear for athletes right there.
So there you go. I was about to say, elaborate on that because I know you know what he's talking about.
Yeah. So they don't ride up nothing. So you cool.
Okay, little bit of sponsorship there. That's what's
Yes,
up. We
sir.
got to get that going. Same thing here. In fact, for the chat, man, if y'all don't know, got my first sponsorship about a week and a half ago. Whatsyourhustle.com, man. Fly sports, urban gear, t-shirts, joggers for females, shorts, basketball jerseys, boxing, combat sports. This is one of their t-shirts, man. So make sure you rock out with whatsyourhustle.com. And if you use promo code the Hangout spot at checkout, you get 15% off your purchase. So make sure you check it out. It's right there at the bottom, man. This is how we do it up. Like I said, I am here with Kamauriay King Cam Walker, who is 5-0 with 5 knockouts. So tell me, stylistically, let's talk a little stylistically, right? Before we get your dad in. I think it's common for fans, right? Even journalists, right? To compare young fighters with potential to other fighters that we've seen that were great or fighters that we admire, right? I mean, it is what it is. Like if I'm talking to somebody, right? One of my boys, and they've never seen you, I'm gonna be like, yo, that young man, King Cam, yo, he reminds me of this guy. So, in your opinion, stylistically, who would you say you resemble? And it doesn't have to be one fighter, maybe a few fighters. For somebody that's
Honestly,
never seen you fight before.
it just depends. I took a lot from everybody. I'm one of those. I took
Give me a few. And tell me what you took out of each.
I could say the left hook, I took that from Nonito Donaire. I could say the brash and the swagginess, I took that from AB. The setting traps and thinking through stuff, that's a Floyd thing. I don't have that Deontay Wilder right hand, but we working on it. We working on that part. Um, who else? The jab, that's Tommy Hearn. You know, so just I put everything in the box and just shook it up. You know, see what I can come out with.
I love it. I love it. So, are you? And I like to ask this question because it's interesting. Because when I first started interviewing fighters, I thought I thought asking this question would be the same answer, but it's not. It's weird. Are
Mhm.
you a fan of boxing when you're not boxing?
Oh yeah, But it's crazy too. It depends on who's fighting also. Because if it's like some middleweights and stuff, unless I know them personally, I might be like, yeah, maybe not tonight. But it's a lot of my friends, family that's fighting from Floyd Schofield to Brian Norman to people like that. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna stay up. They must see TV. So I gotta support the family. Um, so if even when Michael Williams Jr. up in North Carolina, whenever he's fighting, hey, streaming it. So just supporting the family and stuff like that. Um, if it's not them, if they're close to my weight class, then I still tune in, check them out. Who's somebody I could say like what's his name? I don't want to mispronounce his name, but Emiliano Vargas. I watch him and stuff like that.
Emiliano Vargas, the son of
I watch
Fernando,
him.
ferocious Fernando Vargas. Yeah, he's another young,
Yeah, of course.
sensational talent.
Shakur, Keyshawn. Abdullah Mason and stuff like that. Fighters just to because you can still pick up certain stuff, or if you end up having to face that person down the line, you seeing it now of certain things that mistakes you capitalized on and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I said, the reason why I like to ask that question is you'd be surprised. There are fighters that tell me, nah, man, I don't really like watching boxing. I'm like, well, how is that possible?
Yeah,
Like I guess I get it now. I didn't get it before when I first, but now spending all these time, I've been around a lot of boxers and trained. Now I get it. They just want to
because
stay
like
away from it.
exactly, you see it every day, day in, day out. It's like I need a break. I can't do it on my weekends too now.
Nah, no, I get it. I get it. No, I totally get it. That's why I had to ask you that question. So because I'm thinking, forget it. I got in my man cave. I got like 3 TVs up. So when there's 3 different cars going up, I'm good money because I got one
Mhm.
here, I got one here, and I got one here.
Oh
Biggest
yeah, you
TV
seen
got
it
the
all.
best one, right? But and I'm expecting fighters to do the same. And a lot of people say, "Nah, I didn't watch that fight." But
It's
when
gonna,
there's a pay-per-view card on, you watching?
yeah, like for example, the Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia fight. I was going to sleep. Like when they were walking to the ring, I was like, man, I just look up who won in the morning. I look at the highlights. I'm glad I stayed up, but I was on my way to sleep. I was like, man, it's too late. It was one of those college nights too. I was like, it's too late, man. I got finals in the morning. I got to be asleep.
That's what's up. Yeah, no, that's dope. That's dope. Like I said, I just find it intriguing. The answers that I get, it's like all over the place, man. It looks like you're a student of the game. It looks like you're a student of the game. So I like to ask student of the games this question, right? If you were building
Hmm.
the perfect fighter, and you could pick one fighter for each of these attributes, who would you pick for speed, past or present?
Mm. I'm, I say Pacquiao. We talking about hand
Power,
speed, foot speed, or just speed?
speed. Yeah,
I
speed.
go
That's
Pacquiao since he got the full. I go Pacquiao.
power.
Power. Ain't s- He got a God given right hand. It's hard to go against Wilder with that right hand. But if we talking about power in both hands, oh,
It could be
I
one
go with
hand.
Wilder for that. I go
Okay.
with Wilder for that.
I've gotten that answer before. So
Yeah,
yes, I've
it's
gotten
hard to
that
go
answer
against that
before.
right hand.
Footwork,
Sweet pea.
defense,
Mm. I know Shakur don't get hit a lot. Then we talking about if you gonna stand there and trade. I can't name the same fighter twice. No, I ain't gonna do that. Defense,
don't name the
defense.
same
I
fighter
should have
twice. You
said.
got 2 degrees.
uh oh man, because I can't say.
See, you're overthinking it, and that's
I
that's
am
what
too.
that
Because
exactly. That's a
it's
testament
so
that
many
you are a
fighters.
thinker. You are thinking. It's supposed to just come the first person that comes to your mind.
Mm. Yeah, I might have to come back to defense. I might have to come back to that one.
I think you would.
Okay,
You
okay.
you
Nah,
you look like you were going with
I
Shakur. That's not a bad one.
I was about to say Shakur. All right, I'll go with Shakur.
What about ring IQ? We only got 2 more. Ring IQ
Floyd. Yes, it's Floyd easy.
and heart and determination.
It's been some dogs.
Hmm.
Bradley showed heart with that Provocative call fight. He showed heart with that one. Ali.
Okay. All right. You build the perfect fighter there, man. You overthought it a little bit though. Was that harder than you thought?
Yeah, because it's like you don't want to, especially in a sport like this, you don't want to leave out the greats. But then it's like,
There's no
you
wrong
know what I'm saying?
answer when it comes to the greats, man. But I thought that would be a good. I like to throw that question out, especially the guys that I know that are student of the games, man. What do you like to do when you're not fighting? To just decompress, just cool out.
Uh, I'm a huge sneakerhead, so that's one of the things I do. I collect shoes. I'm not gonna say I collect because I wear them too. Um, if I'm not doing that, I'm on the game. So Fortnite, Call of Duty, NCAA. Oh, speaking of that, if anybody wants to smoke in NCAA, you can come find me. As long as you don't use Georgia or Alabama, because they be cheating. Any other team, I'm cool with. Um, what else? Or
I love it.
yeah, that's pretty much it. Or
Okay.
calling my dad and messing with him. Because
All
I ain't
right.
got nothing
All
else to
right.
do, so just call and bother him. My sisters or something.
Good stuff. Speaking of your dad, man, I'd like to get him up in here, man. Where are you, Mr. Walker, man? I am here with your son, Kamari King Cam Walker. He's in the building, 5-0, 5 knockouts, extremely, extremely bright future. And we got some super chats, man. Let's get to some super chats before we get your dad up in here. If you're in here, make sure you use that link, Pops, so we could get you up in here, man. We got Sean Banks with the $50 super sticker. Wow. I just want to thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate the love and support. I mean, this is not why I do this, but I definitely appreciate everybody that appreciates me. But anybody that comes to the hangout spot, whether you're a guest or you're a chat member, you are family, and I expect to see you back here, man, because we rock out, and I definitely want to see you back here. So I definitely appreciate that. We got Kareem Stokes with the $10 super chat.
Yes,
Straight
sir.
cash, homie.
Strong mind and strong fist. Let's go, nephew. We got family coming out.
Let's see.
Yeah, I just want to apologize. I don't know what's going on with this stream, y'all, right now. It's actually giving me some problems, but we're back. We're back. We're good. Don't panic. If it happens again, I'll be right back. But it seems like we got Pops up in the building. So without further ado, I want to bring in Coach. Coach is in the building. Marcus Walker.
Yer.
What's up? What's up? Thank you, Johnny. What's going on, man? Cam, what's up, baby?
What up, Paul?
He said, "What up, Pop? What's going on, man? I love it." Not, Coach. Thank you, man. I just want to thank you for a couple of things. Number one, for reaching out, man, because Cam is special. You got something special there, man. You know what I'm saying, both inside and outside. And for you to reach out to me and give me the opportunity to spend some time not only with him, with you, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I'm saying? Like I told everybody before you came up in here, when you come to the hangout spot, you are family.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
you are family. So I appreciate that. But talk to me, man. Talk to me. You've been hearing the interview, man. You've been hearing the interview. And I just I want you to tell me a little bit about this relationship, man. Like, obviously it's not easy to raise a child in this day and age, but you're not only raising them, you're teaching them to become a professional fighter. So how hard is it to do both?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. He made it easy. He was never, one of those kids to, you just had to stay on top of. He was always kind of driven, about what he wanted to do. So that's one thing I commend him on, and I always tell him that he made my life easy. I never had to really like worry about him stepping out of line, running with the wrong people, doing the wrong things. But I did institute, the boxing and structure in his life. I'm prior military and things of that sort. But and I grew up from a single mom household. So but my mom was tough, and but I tell a lot of people she set me up to win. From even from where we moved to and who was around, and so I had manly examples around me. So my mom was real strategic in what she did. So it made it easier for me that having a son and raising him, that it wasn't hard at all. But he's always been a real good kid, great young man, great man now. he's been dedicated, but it's just about building structure around him. And I think as he gets older, one of the best things you can do as a father, just be honest with him. He's seen me hurt, he's seen me cry, so just be honest with your kid, because life is going to hit him. So you can't walk around here like nothing bothers you. You're not hurt. You're not, from breakups to certain things that, you expose him to it, because somewhere along the lines, you hope he doesn't go through it, but he understands it. So that's one thing I try to do. I just always try to be honest with him about things. And life as being a man growing up, you're going to have good times, hard times, ups, downs, but it's about how you bounce back and move forward. So, and when we teach that in the ring as well, just it's what you put in is what you get out of it. If you're half-assing, it'll show in the ring. You're half-assing in life, it'll show in life. So, but more than anything, he's been an outstanding young man.
That's deep, man. I love it. I love it. Are you more proud of the degrees or the fact that he made it to as a professional fighter?
School.
Not both. I knew he could do it, because
That
I know
wasn't
he's
for you, Cam.
I know. I know he's a smart kid, so I knew him going to school and dedicating himself to what he needs to do was not surprising to me. I knew he'd do it. The boxing, it's you got to be a little throw it off to be like, I mean, because to get hit to go into something knowing that, okay, the physical harm, that someone's not only trying to hurt you, they're trying to knock you out. They can take your head off, so it takes a certain mindset to even get in there and be willing to take a shot, to give a shot, so his mindset, I'm just as proud of both, that the fact is I could take him from something that he liked to do and kind of work him to his career path of what he wants to be in life. The degrees are a great stepping stone. It's something that he can use now, even while he's boxing. It's something that he can use after boxing. So I'm pretty much equal on it because he's excelled in both of them. So I can't diminish one, because I think that the fact is the boxing paid a lot into his discipline, his mindset, and things of that sort that made him, that he can sit down and concentrate in school, that he can balance and do certain things. So they're equally there, but I'm proud on both of them.
Great answer, man. Phenomenal answer. And I am here with undefeated prospect Kamauriay King Cam Walker and his dad, Coach Marcus Walker. I'm privileged to have them here in the building, here at the Hangout spot. We rocking out. I'm going to get your perspective on this as a father, trainer of your own son, because I gravitate towards that, Coach. I love it. I just think it's unique, and maybe it's because I live through you guys and other fathers and trainers, because I wish I had a son that I can train and I don't, right? So I think it's phenomenal. I think who else is gonna guide your son and care for your son more than the father? But people in the boxing community kind of shit on it, depending on who you talk to. Why do you think that's the case? Giving me your perspective of it.
I think because a lot of them have come to know certain trainers, and you see these trainers deal with so many fighters. So somewhere along the lines, they think you're supposed to end up with certain types of trainers, Derrick James, Freddie Roach, and things of that sort. The Garcias and things. So people think because sometimes you can see one trainer, he has maybe 5 fighters. So, this guy's fighting, you see him in the corner here, you see him in the corner there. So it's just a thing where they feel like a father can, basically cap where their child goes. And it's really not that. It's a bond. It is. And I know sometimes I can look at him, I can read him, I can see certain things that even though a coach that has spent years with him, I can look in his face, I can look at his body, his demeanor, and I know what's going on. I can feel his energy in the ring. He feels mine if I say, hey, pick it up. When he comes in the corner, and it's more of like he wants to win, but damn, I don't want to let my dad down. Also on my end, certain things that I see that as far as training and making sure I don't want to let him down in that ring, because if I let him down in there, from as far as what I see, how I train him, what I tell him, he can get hurt. So we have to work together. And sometimes, like, he picks up on my energy, and sometimes you hear me say something in the corner. He talks to me in the corner. All right, he'll let me know that he hears me, and so that's just, it's just a bond. So, I think the father-son, it's very underrated to people, but it's to the people that are in it, it means the world.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I love it. I love it. And I hate when people say, well, you know what? He needs to get a new trainer. Like, why?
Yeah.
You know?
That's like
But
USA boxing. It's like the Olympics. You train, you get this kid to a certain level that the fact is that you want him, and then now they take him from you, and it's like, and that's been maybe that system will straighten out, because that's become a problem as well. That the fact is that, I think one of the ones, I think it was that Gary Russell, he was like, even though his father wasn't on the team, but his father coached him from the stands during the Olympics.
facts.
He was listening to his father the whole time. And shout out to the Russell family, amazing, they're boxing royalty. So shout out to them, and RIP Pops, but yeah, he left a serious mark in this game with those boys. So shout out to them. But yeah, it's just a bond. It's just something that, he knows. I can give him a look, and he knows what it is. Let's turn it on, or take your time, slow down, without even saying it. So
That's dope. And yeah, I agree. Shout out to the Russells, man. And shout out to Gary Russell, who's basically walking in his dad's footsteps now, and is training little brothers, and he's doing a phenomenal job. You saw what Gary Antoine did the last fight against Rayo, man. Incredible performance. I had a chance to meet both of them at a live fight. Phenomenal people. But yeah, I just wanted to ask you that and get your perspective as a dad that's actually doing it, because, like I said, I just can't stand people that just want to
it's just
crap
part of
all over
the
it. It is what it is, absolutely. But you guys also, obviously, I spoke to Cam about Glenn Johnson training him, right? And I spoke to him about, I asked him about his relationship, but obviously you're a big part of that relationship as well. So what's the whole dynamic there? How do all three of you guys kind of fit into that whole dynamic?
We fit in well. One thing I knew, Glenn has that style. So one of the first things about Cam that we know, even in the amateurs, I taught him a pro style. Has he taken some L's in the amateurs with that style? Yes. But our plan is, we're getting past this. He's still going to kick ass in the amateurs, but we're getting past this. I'm training you to get where you say you want to be. So when you step foot on that level of a professional, you're ahead of the game. You're already ahead, because you've been fighting professional since the amateurs, the style of fighting that you do. So Glenn has a style. I told him, like, hey, that mindset, you pick up everything you can, from the most minute thing you can from Glenn. But your style is your style. And that's the foundation. Once you set, it's like in life, once you set that foundation, that's solid. We can build things on top of that, but the base of who he is, that's going to remain. And Glenn has taught him a lot of good things. He's had some Coach Kenny Lee. When we first went to Jacksonville, we started out the Jacksonville PAL. So we've had, Raymond Riggins and things of that sort, Nate Campbell. So we've had some people around in the area that help build that foundation. So Glenn just, it's kind of like you bake the, you make the sundae, you get the cake, the foundation is the cake. So everything that you put on top of it, you're just adding to make it better. And that's where Glenn comes in. So my relationship with Glenn, I appreciate Glenn. I thank him so much for not just, just training him, but being an example to him. He treats him like family, like a son, So more than anything, you can trust people that, and they look out for his well-being, his best interests at heart. So I take my hat off to Glenn on that.
And I want to take my hat off to you, even though I don't have one physically on. I usually do 9 out of 10 times. Today I didn't, because I just got a haircut. But I want to take my hat off to you as well, because you're his dad, right? You could have been overprotective. Like, no, I don't want anybody else, to train him. But the fact that you've allowed, Glenn Johnson to come in and help nurture his skills, that's I think you need to be applauded for that as well.
Yeah, because it's him, and anything that makes him better, you know, and especially a guy of Glenn's stature that's been on that level, you know, so he's seen it, he's been through that fire, you know, so I couldn't, if I didn't allow that, it's cheating my son, and that's one thing I'm not gonna do.
I love it, but there are fathers that wouldn't say what you just said, which is why, again, I want to applaud you for that, man. You know, that's it's admirable, and it's doing the right thing for what you feel your son needs to be great.
Correct.
You know, so again, I just wanted to tell you that. I think I told you that off the line. I wanted to tell you that on camera as well, man. But
yeah, I'll pop up down there in Miami on him. You know, I'll pop up. We just show up and we, get in the gym, and I'll pop up on him, and we still get work, and we get in there, we do what we have to do, and just
side story. That's one of the main reasons I went to college in Miami.
So he got a call first. You got to make sure.
I made sure I went to a distance where like he got a call or plan, but he just can't pop up here.
I popped up on you though.
I knew it was coming though.
I love it. I love it. And I'm gonna ask both of you this, and was there ever a moment, again, father, son, father, trainer, you love your dad, you love your son, but there was that moment that you can remember that Pops, you just wanted to wring his neck, and Cam, you just want to be like, yo, Pops, man, wish you was my Pops right now. Name one, if you can remember one.
Oh, I can write a book on this. I'm playing that. Honestly, I can't remember exactly where we were. I'm not even gonna bring that one up. Okay. I think he slapped me and said, look, this is what happened. Mind you, I'm winning the fight. Right?
Okay.
So I'm not dominating the way he wanted me to dominate. I'm laid back, I'm chilling, I'm coasting through the fight because I know I got the fight. So, at that point in time, I'm thinking like, well, I gotta waste extra energy. I'm just picking Buddy apart. Man, I come back to the corner. He was like, pick it up. And I looked, you remember what was it, Rocky 4? When Drago picked up his corner and threw him in the crowd. And I looked, I was like, bro, I'm already getting punched in the face over here. I'm like, you gonna sneak me like that in front of my mama? I'm playing. But that was one, we got over that.
Hilarious.
We got over that. I was still mad. I went out there and beat Buddy up the last round. But yeah,
that was the whole intention. Tell him, coach. That was the whole. Yo, listen, I've seen that plenty of times. It used to happen to Trinidad, Felix Trinidad, all the time. I don't know how many times his pops then went upside his head, and then what happened to the guy after that?
It was people looking at me and stuff. They asked me,
"You don't want to hear
my
that?"
dad beat on me. Yeah, like I couldn't eat junk food. You're like, you gotta make weight. No, like, man, it's cool, man. Just let me have these 4 Debbie cakes. Yeah, man. And then we get there, I'm like, I gotta go jump rope real quick.
Right.
Now you gotta let Pops go now. Go ahead, coach.
Yeah, I mean, you get to the point, especially in the amateurs, you're driving everywhere, you're going every weekend, and it's like, okay, you need to get out here and perform. Then at a certain point, he didn't want to fly at all. So, you had to drive, and it's like, okay. So finally, when he got his license and we travel, I started making him drive sometimes, like, okay. And then he started to understand, like, okay, and we get on this plane and go ahead and get what we need to do. Yeah, he hated to fly at first. So, but
I think my first time flying was when we went to the Nationals in Reno.
Yeah.
And that's because if we could have drove, we would have drove. But I realized how long that drive was. So I was like, it's okay, we can try flying.
Yeah. He's still nervous to fly. We went to Colombia and he was like,
my hands get all clammy on the plane, my back starts sticking to the seats, and
a lot of people like that, yeah.
I can't do it. I get real jumpy.
I had to ask that question, man, because it seems like, again, you guys have more than just you guys look like you just get along, like you're boys,
best friend.
Like, yo, what up, Cam? What up, Bob? Just coming in here,
we've been through it. He's seen it all. So if anybody he knows on this earth is his father. Anybody I know, it's him. So he's seen the ups and downs, the highs and lows, and we still standing, we still fighting, and we're moving on to bigger and better things.
Dope. Dope, man. Like I said, I'm here with Kamari King Cam Walker, his dad, Coach Marcus Walker. I hope you guys have smashed that like button, man. And
Yeah.
you've told somebody to subscribe to the Hangout spot. It's only the beginning here. This is how we do it up here at the Hangout spot. Keep this chat rolling, man. Keep this chat rolling. Again, the most impressive thing I also like about you guys is, you're surrounding yourself. I said this like 3 times, but I got to say it again. You're surrounding yourself with really good people, right? Kenny Porter. Talk about that relationship, right? With Kenny Porter, Brian Norman Sr., who's my dude, who's very close with you guys. Talk about that relationship first off with Porter.
Oh, that was an extreme blessing that Pops, was able to make that connection for us. Yeah, just that short, you can kind of say like the one workout I did do, I worked out with him twice. But the first one was real nerve-wracking because you know who he is, his status and things like that, people he worked with. So he wasn't saying too much, he just watching. And I was like, oh, I can't get a thumbs up or something. But after everything, he enjoyed, he liked what he saw and things like that. It was a blessing to have him there, and for him to see my ability and things like that, it was a extreme blessing. As far as the Normans, that's family. That's family. B helped me out with ideas, break down footage of fighters for me. Yeah, that's fine. And then I won a pretty penny on him too. So, that's extra family right there now.
Yeah, be doing his thing. But yeah, Kenny Porter, making that connection with him, it was that was good for him to come out and just take a look, and the way he broke it down to me, he didn't come in and try to work with him. He's more of a methodical type of guy. So he just came in and he just kind of like watched. He watched him work, didn't say too much, but he just kind of like watched him, kind of like took his mental notes and things of that sort. He did say that, the last couple of years, he's one of the most, well put together kids that he's seen in the last few years, as far as just like watching his fights and then just watching him train. And one of the best things that he did say, he was like, what that caught his attention, he was like, even during training, the kid's smiling. So, and that's what really caught his attention. Like he's smiling during his workout, and he's happy. He's in the gym. This is what he enjoys. So that was one of the things that stuck with him. But Kenny's like I said, very notable guy in the sport, but a good down to earth brother that that you can just call. We continue to call. He calls and checks on me, and we just speak, we text and things of that sort. So he's a very down to earth guy. The Normans, Brian Norman Sr. That's my brother right there. And in this game, he's one of the people that I trust. So if I have any questions about anything, I'm gonna give him a call. Shoot it, like getting getting on shows and things of that sort. He opens the door carte blanche. Like, okay, if I say, hey, I got a question for you, hit me when you get a minute. Probably 30 seconds later, my phone will ring. So he's an honorable guy and good guy. I love the shit talk. He talks, and I love the bond between him and his son as well.
Yeah.
Michael Williams Jr., Michael Williams Sr. Those guys are A1.
Floyd Schofield.
Floyd Schofield, the junior and senior. So we've that father and son team, I really take to it as well, because they get it, and they understand, and you see that passion that comes in from that team.
Shout out to all the fathers and son duo. Because y'all deserve it, man. Yo, Brian Sr., that's my guy. I call him Coach B. Well, yeah. I call him Uncle B.
Yeah.
And I agree. I love the shit talk. I love having him on. I've had him on here a ton of times. I love it. My viewers love it. But they show me a lot of love. And again, you're only as good as the team that you surround yourself with. So continue to do that. And it's just a testament of you guys, right? As people, right? Because people of that stature, Kenny Porter, I mean, the father and trainer of the former world champion, for him to come down, show y'all that love, give y'all that compliment, that's a testament of you guys, not just as fighters, as people. So again, shout out to you on that. I think that's absolutely phenomenal. That's only going to grow, right? Because you're still in the beginning stages. That's only going to manifest and get better and hopefully branch out. I got to read some super chats though, because you're getting some love. You're getting some love, especially from the family, man. You got Ravens World in the building with the $10 super chat behind you.
Thank you, family.
The whole package. I appreciate you rocking out. Appreciate you rocking out, and I appreciate the donation, man. Again, my driving force to do this really isn't that. I love to do this, but this is a phenomenal interview, man. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm having a blast. We got Sean Banks with the $20 super chat. I'm going to always help and support you. Okay. All right. That's what's up. Absolutely.
Thanks,
I mean, the more the merrier, man. Absolutely. The more the merrier. You got Kia W with the $10 super chat.
Straight cash, homie.
This is deep. God has his hand on you. It's your time. Patience has been your virtue. Now, kick ass, take names, and remember whose name you took.
And got you, auntie.
Dope. So is that auntie you said?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that's Navy family right there. That's my,
Dope super chat. Make
my
sure,
sister.
you guys definitely, I appreciate the love and support, man, but make sure you guys reciprocate that. Give those hugs. If you guys can hug these people for me, hug them.
Yes.
Next time you see him, man, because like I said, I'm humbled by it. I love it, man. It's an honor to have you here. We got Lenny Michelle with the $2 super chat. Much love, King
Thank
Cam.
you,
I gotta
thank
read
you.
these, bro, because they showing you love, baby. You got Tay Fazo with the $1 super chat.
Hey,
And then a
Yes, sir,
repeat
little
with a
bro.
$2 with a Mr. 140. I love it.
Appreciate
We
you, little
got
bro.
Madison Pena, another $5. What about Cam sets him apart as a fighter from your perspective as his father and coach? That's a great question. Take it away, coach.
He's smart, in the ring. He's smart. I can just sit back and watch him kind of dissect, his person. He'll come in and he's patient. He'll pick his shots. But he's a full package. The strength that's kicked in on us. He's always had a great jab. He's fast as hell that people don't, really don't understand. That the fact is that I've seen guys kind of like size him up and they see the slim kid and they just figure like, okay. And all I say during weigh-ins, they mean mug, and I just say, smile at them, son. Give him that $1 million smile. And I just let them know it's different when you get touched, so that happens that there's a difference between Kamauriay Walker and then there's King Cam. And I always told him you got to learn to flip that switch. And once he gets in that ring, that's that King Cam. And I've seen it happen. Like, you've been at fights and these fights going on. And it just, he has a presence that even when he walks in, once he steps in the ring, and people just know, like, yeah, he's special. He knows what he's doing. And he changes the trajectory of everybody that's around him just off his presence. He can throw a punch and people just, okay, this is different from everybody else fighting. I don't care what card we're on. So he's always been a special kid, but he puts in the work, the dedication, the grind, and he has a sharp mind. That's the biggest thing.
I love that answer, especially when you say between Kamauriay Walker and King Cam, the difference. So it's like a transformation.
Yeah.
Dope.
Give him a little alter ego.
I always told him that. I said, you have to learn to flip that switch. You can't come in here as Kamauriay Walker. You have to come in here and let these guys know, you don't give them anything. If you can beat them, get them out of here. We don't make overtime. We don't do anything. If they take 1 round, get them out. 2 rounds, get them out. I understand you might want to get a little work. Don't get a hit, but just go ahead and get him out of here. Because we had a fight before, and I said, go ahead and lay him down. He was like, all right. About 30 seconds later, laid him down. And that's
why that happened, right? You know why that happened, right? Because he ain't want to come back to the corner and get touched up, right? You ain't gonna want to get touched up.
All those sub pops in. He tagged in now. He got to go finish the fight.
Hey. You got
it's your turn. If you want to put your hands on people, go on in there.
Coach, let him know he ain't want to get touched up. He know what time it was.
So, yeah.
Man, phenomenal question, man. He said, I appreciate that phenomenal answer, man. Wow, listen, man, this is absolutely insane, man. Diggy Hollister with the $50 super sticker. And I can't thank you enough, man. I cannot thank you enough for your generosity, your donations. Again, I love doing this, but man, this is insane. I appreciate the love, appreciate the support. Subscribe, man. Definitely subscribe. Definitely, I want you to come back here, man. This is how we do it up here, Coach Cam. We do it up here multiple times a
Oh
week,
yeah.
9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm not letting y'all go just yet. I just got a couple more questions for Coach, especially with the business side, because I know that that's a part of Cam's. That's kind of where you kind of fall in, right? That's kind of your forte from a little bit of the conversations that we've had, right? What's going on from a business perspective? What can we expect in the future as far as business? I mean, you don't gotta get specific, but something that we can look forward to, right?
We've had some, we got some offers on the table, from a few promoters and promotion companies, some nice offers. We're just basically taking our time. We have a few more meetings set for next week with a couple of other promotion companies. And so we're just going to take them, lay them down, take a look at it. And to me, it's not all about the money. Of course, we want money, but I mean, it's not all about the money, because I want someone that's willing to grow with him, So my goal was, in this boxing game, everybody, the so-called 10-0, you got to get to 10-0 and things of that sort. I wanted to buck that system and say, okay, he's 5-0. You better take notice, because he's gonna, by the time it's 10-0, that's a bidding war. So I'd rather have someone that's willing to come on right now, grow with him, and they understand who and what they have their hands on just as much as I do. So, so we're just basically just sitting back, letting the offers come in, and we'll make a decision on what's the best fit for him. Also, basically where he feels comfortable, because this is his career, this is his life, So I want him. I'm always here to guide him. I'm always give him to give him advice, But at the end of the day, it's basically up to him. So I did just to give a shout out, Media Consulting Group. I'm gonna bring them on as far as handling his branding. So I'm gonna ink that deal and bring them on board to help with his branding, NIL, his PR and things of that sort, because I understand that part as well, that needs to be taken care of. And now everything, it's not the old times where billboards and things of that sort. Pretty much everything is online, and it's an online presence. So that's something that we're looking forward to making a move. And then as far as the promotion companies and things of that sort, Cam already has his own promotion company. So
all right, that's what's up.
Promotion. So we made sure we're trying to get ahead of the game. So whatever we ink, that it falls in line and concurrent to what we want to do, and what's going to move him forward. We're not going to go with anybody to think they're going to get him and shelf him. You're not going to get him and throw him to the wolves. You're going to build him the right way. And one of the biggest aspects, what I say that comes along with the degrees, is you have to understand who you have your hands on outside of that ring. So there's a lot that can be taken, into consideration. That the fact is what he offers outside of the ring, his story, his accolades and things of that sort. So it's not all about in the ring. That I want these promotion companies to understand that you have something special on your hands that we know that doesn't cross this, this threshold in boxing hardly ever, and a young, handsome kid, he's the package, so, you got it's a lot of opportunity out there for him. So, and so we plan on seizing all that, and we just want someone to take notice of that and work with us.
Phenomenal, man. Absolutely, man. I love it. I can't wait. To continue to see this journey. And like I always say, I interview everybody, man. I mean, doesn't matter, champions, former champions, trainers, but I love, this is something different when it comes to interviewing, guys at a young level, prospects, because it's almost like me, and it's not the case, but I feel like, what, I'm going to be a part of their growth, because I'm going to be following them. I'm going to be watching them. I'm going to be supporting them. I'm going to be texting them before their fights. Say, yo, good luck. After they fight, yo, I saw that, bro. Like, this is how we are here at the Hangout Spot. We family, right, man. Yeah, we absolutely family. This was a sensational interview. One more question before, because I know I've had you guys on here for a long time. Cam, you mentioned the possibility of coming back when potentially. When do you want to see yourself back in the ring? Or that's what I wanted to ask you. When do you see yourself back in the ring?
Oh, so we got a couple things lined up. If I can't pull off my own promotional card, which we're looking to do sometime this summer, I'm still looking for something in June. Maybe late June. It's a nice card coming up late June, so you may see me on there, you may not.
Right.
So we just gonna you can do your research, you can do your due diligence with that one. So if y'all can figure it out, you got me. But it's a nice size card coming up towards the end of June.
Yeah. We were looking in May, and like you say, when you have a kid that, you can ask people, about being on the card, and once they go do their research, they're like, no. So we've had, in May, we've had like 3 fights, well, 2 really fall apart. And, guys are like, no. And multiple people, you come in and you propose it and they take a look. And once they do their research, they're like, no. So, it is, I understand when these fighters go through that. Some of these cats don't want to fight.
I was going to tell you, like, be prepared. Be prepared because with your size,
yeah, I'll say 6'2" at 140.
I mean, he's a unicorn.
And cracking.
Yeah, he can crack. I just had Albert Bell on yesterday. Again, 6'1", junior lightweight, 135. These are dudes that people just stay away from. Boxing is different than when I was growing up. I'm an old guy,
Yeah.
They weren't as hesitant to go in there and crack with the best. Here it's a little different. I don't know about that style, Maybe we'll go somewhere else.
We want to protect that and like I tell them,
that's what it is. You know the deal. You absolutely know the deal. So you got to stay patient with that because I'm going to see a lot of that. I'm predicting. I hope I'm wrong that that's going to happen. But stay the course. Like I said, stay the course. After June, do you see yourself? How many more times do you want to fight this year if all goes well?
My goal for this year, honestly, was to finish the year top 300 in the world. But after my last fight, I jumped up 200 spots, so I upped my goal. So my goal is to finish the year top 100. So maybe I could probably achieve that goal. Maybe two more fights, achieve the goal, top 100 in the world.
Yeah.
But it just depends on all the dates. As long as my health is good, no injuries or anything like that, then I should be in the ring maybe 4, maybe 3 or 4 more times this year.
Well, 4, yeah. We're ready to fight. That's the main thing. We're looking to fight. We're ready to go. He's always in shape. He's always ready. So, if it makes sense, we're ready to go. And we get the call.
And you're campaigning, you're going to stay around 140. That's where you want to stay at?
Yeah, until I win the title. And then,
okay.
It just depends on my body. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I want undisputed at 140. If I can win 1 title and I feel like my body is like, all right, that's enough. It's time for you to go. And then, but the ultimate goal is at least to get a title at the weight class.
Yeah, that's one thing we don't do. He's going to fight comfortable. So, even in the amateurs, we always fought at his weight where he's comfortable. We don't do the weight draining stuff. We don't, so right now he doesn't have a problem making 140 at all. So that's just, just his design. So, and of course, as he gets older, he's going to mature. He's going to, bulk up a little bit. So, no.
Absolutely.
I'm slow.
But yeah.
Absolutely. I got one question because it's a super chat. Obviously, Bashara Johnson with the $5 super chat.
Look, dude.
Appreciate you. What's your favorite punch you like to throw? I love your jab and how you set up your punches.
Honestly, first and foremost, thank you for the compliment. My favorite punch to throw, like I said, I'm a thinker, so it just depends on whatever situation I'm in. I do like to slip to the outside, the inside, throw my uppercut. That's one of my things. I haven't sorted that out too much in my pro game yet, just because I had the distance so good that it's like, but I can say my left hook or straight right. Pretty, because it took me so long to get my left hook together.
Mm-hmm.
And I owe that to my coach Lee.
Yeah.
He used to make me had a medicine ball in my arm and twist and throw it across the room. So that's what got my left foot good. And I was doing that maybe 13.
Yeah.
So it took me forever to get my left foot down back. And like I said, I'm a huge
Coach
fan. Yeah, Coach Mace. He used to make me
RP Coach Mace, Bain Camp, Florida.
He used to make me do every time I messed up on the left foot, he used to make me do push-ups. So instead of yelling or saying you did something wrong, And it kind of got to a moment like, man, I ain't trying to do more push-ups. So it
Yeah,
made you perfect it. So I was like, I think I did maybe like an hour, probably like 200 push-ups, and we were working mitts. And that should tell you how many times I was messing up. And I was like,
Mm.
bro.
yeah, Coach Mace. Yeah,
Got to do it to get it right, baby.
legend.
I mean, practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. Great question. I appreciate that. So where can my viewers, where can they find you guys on social media if they are not following you? And they better be following you after this, man.
Oh, so my Instagram is real_King Cam. I think I don't know if that's my same thing for Twitter, but everything
Well,
should be
actually,
King
I
Cam.
got something
Oh,
up here.
boom, there we go.
I got some stuff up here. I'm here. I got your back, man. I got your back.
Thank you, fam. See, what it's all about.
There you go. So yeah, y'all write that down. But
Let's
I
go.
got a
You got
Facebook.
the IG, you got the Facebook, you got Dad's IG, you got Dad's Facebook, Management GL at Gmail. You got the Cash App, bro. If you want to show some support, let's get some support going for
yes,
my
sir.
man Kamauriay King, Cam Walker. He's 5-0 with 5 night by NyQuil, like my man the Maniac says, man. And I will put this back up again before I shut it down. But listen, I gotta be honest, man. This was one of the best interviews I've ever done, man. This was phenomenal. This
Appreciate
really
Man,
it.
was,
thank you.
man.
It's love, brother. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for the
We
opportunity.
appreciate you.
We family.
Of
Again,
course. We locked
you
in.
come to the Hangout spot, you a family. Coach, I told Cam that I do want to set it up where I hit up one of his trainings. I get out there for a day, spend some time with him, throw a little footage out on social media. We're gonna do it up right, man. We're gonna do it up right. I'm excited to
Yeah.
follow your career from this point going
Yeah.
forward, man. I got your back.
Let me I wanted to give a couple of our sponsors, a little shout out. First of all, to
Take it
the
away, Coach.
military,
Sorry.
the U.S. Navy, my Navy brothers and sisters. I appreciate you guys for everything that you do. They're strong supporters of Cam and of me. The first responders out here in the world, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Cossack Cares has been a part of Cam's life as far as even the amateurs and things. Bent Boxing, one of the best. And you see his uniforms and things. That's Bent Boxing. We appreciate you. Of course, John Tyler Brand is what's underneath that counts. Some of the best workout gear, underwear in the game. My company, M&M Merchant Card Services Incorporated. We handle credit card processing. Then we have Cams in Management. My youngest boy, Anzen Walker, is his co-manager, so his little brother. And we have Cams in Management. And then we also have KKB Promotions, Cam's promotion company. And one more for where we're from, College Park. Torrey Tomlinson, ONE Entertainment, Old National Entertainment. He's going to be running for mayor of College Park. So, hey, y'all, give my man some support. And we're trying to bring a fight to College Park. So that's one of my goals. That the fact is, we want that Skyhawks Arena. We want to sell it out and put on a great performance and bring him home and just really have a good time and just turn up for College Park, the city, and just do what we need to do. Get another victory, another KO at home, and just move forward.
So I got another goal. One of my goals that I'm putting on my checklist is I gotta get credentials to a Cam fight because I gotta see him there live. I gotta go represent live. We're gonna make that happen.
Definitely make that happen.
We're gonna make that happen. I was gonna say,
we gonna make that happen.
Yes,
we
sir.
definitely gonna make that happen because I'm starting to take the Hangout spot on the road. Right now, I'm doing all the Florida shows because this is where I live now.
Okay.
But I'm gonna start taking out on the road, doing some work for not just this channel, but the Boxing Voice as well. Shout out to them as well for having Cam on their platform. That's a great platform for you to be on as well. The more exposure, the better. Coach Cam, I can't tell you enough. This was absolutely phenomenal. Thank you for coming on. This ain't gonna be the last time.
Oh,
of course not.
We'll have you back on, once you get that next fight popping or whatever. If you want to get on before that, you want to talk about that or even or after that or even both, you're always welcome here at the Hangout Spot. You're a family.
Appreciate you, fam. Thank you, family. Thank you.
All right, man. So I've had you guys a long time. So I take care. I appreciate you. This was absolutely phenomenal. Coach, I'll reach out to you later on.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody in the chat, family, friends that
Thank y'all.
supporters. We appreciate y'all, and we ain't gonna let you down. We promise.
I know it, man. I'll reach out to both of y'all a little bit later.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Have a good night, fam.
All right, man. Take care.
All right.
Oh man, there you have it, man. This was sensational. This was absolutely sensational, man. We had Kamari King Cam Walker, who is a young prospect, 140 pound prospect, 5-0 with 5 knockouts, bright future, very smart, 2 degrees. I mean, and we had his father, Coach Marcus Walker, who was here. That was one of the better interviews that I've ever done because the engagement, the chat, the support, father son, I love that whole dynamic, and I loved having them together so that they spoke about their relationship, right? I thought the question that I asked, I can't front. I got to toot my horn for that. The question that I asked about the tension, if there was one moment between each of them that they remember where the tension was high, that they wanted to strangle each other. I thought that was dope. And I love the answers, man, because this is what it is, man. At the end of the day, they are father and son, and you could tell they have a very, very good relationship, man. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy to see the growth and the maturation of Cam as a fighter, man, as a future champion, man, and to just to have a little bit of piece of that, just to be a part of that a little bit, knowing like I'm rocking with dudes, I'm supporting them since day one. I take a lot of satisfaction into that because I know what it's like, with these fighters, man. I've talked to them, I've interviewed them, I've been backstage with them. I talked to their managers, I talked to their promoters. Boxing is a very grimy business. It's not for everybody. It's not just going in the ring and fighting. It's a lot of bullshit and the business aspect of it can be really, really dirty. You got to deal with that part of it. So when you surround yourself with good people, it makes it a lot easier for you. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but it makes it easier because if you don't have good people around you, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. That's one thing. Doing this, man, journalism, in boxing, working fight cards, I've learned that the business of boxing is insane. It's absolutely insane, and you gotta have it up here. You gotta have it up here because at the end of the day, you know what they say, the old cliche, you can't play boxing. You can play baseball, you can play basketball, you can play football. You can't play boxing. And these guys are risking their lives for our entertainment. So of course, the financial aspect of it is very, very important. So I'm all about boxers trying to make the most money that they possibly can, man. Because again, they're risking their lives for entertainment. This is why I don't shit on any boxer, man. They all get respect. I don't care what skill level you are. I don't care how many losses you got. You go and get respect from the hangout spot. That's how I roll. And people that know me closest know that if I'm hanging out with somebody and they calling boxers bums, I'm walking away because ain't no boxer a bum. That's cap.
This is nasty.
Nah, man. Anybody that has the guts to lace up a pair of gloves and go in the ring, mano a mano, whether it's male or female, because we can't forget the females. We got to give a shout out to the females because they've been doing it up too. Shout out to the females in boxing that ain't afraid to mix it up with anybody and go and unify titles and try to go undisputed. Sometimes I'm disappointed at the males because they ain't as amped up or as motivated to go out there and go undisputed or unify. The females are doing that shit up, especially the last 4 or 5 years, man. You know what I mean? So I love boxing, man. But more importantly, I love doing these interviews, getting to know these fighters, getting to know these trainers, these fathers, and doing it for you guys, man. Because today the chat was cooking. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. In fact, I got to catch up on a couple of super chats, man. We got Siobhan Williams with the $20 super chat. We gotta drop the bomb, man. For real, man. Appreciate actually it's a super sticker, so I appreciate that. Siobhan Williams, I appreciate the love and the support. We got West GA Fresh, West Gafresh or West GA Fresh with the $5 super chat.
Straight cash, homie.
King Cam era is on deck. It's exciting. It really is, man. It's exciting, right? It's very, very exciting, man. We may be witnessing greatness right now, bro. That shit is crazy. We got She's coy with the $20 super chat. Oh, I appreciate you.
Straight cash, homie.
I hope I'm saying that right. Keem Coy? She's coy. I hope I'm saying that right and I'm not chopping that up. But I appreciate the love, the support, the donations, man. I mean, I love doing this, man. But the fact that you guys come out and appreciate that, it means the world to me. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm putting that work in, man. And I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying what I'm doing. If this was the first time that you tapped into one of my shows, make sure you continue to tap in, subscribe. Call somebody and tell them, yo, y'all got to subscribe to Johnny in the Hangout Spot because he's doing it up over there. 2025 is going to be big. I promise that. I promise that in the beginning of the year, we're going to get the bigger and better interviews. But again, power in numbers, man. We got to get subscribers and it's free. It's free to subscribe. Tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody else, man, so we could get more subscribers and we could get the bigger and better names for you because I love doing these interviews, man. If this was the first time you see me do an interview, this is how we do it up. It's not really an interview at the Hangout Spot. It's more of a conversation. This is why I call this channel the Hangout Spot, because I want my viewers and I want my guests to feel like they chilling here with me. They sitting down with me. They hanging with me and they just talking boxing and we being ourselves, man. So I appreciate that. So if this is the first time that you've rocked out with me, make sure you come back because my viewers, they loyal, man. They loyal. And if you're watching this live and you haven't smashed that like button, make sure you do that, man. Smash that like button because it will help us with the visibility of the channel. And if you're watching this on record, because after this, all my shows, all my live shows go right on the Hangout Spot on YouTube so you can watch, the recorded version. Make sure you hit that like button as well. It will help us get this channel out into the algorithm of other boxing fans so that they know we rock out 2-3 times a week, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Normally we were doing Tuesdays and Thursdays, but we're going to a third night because it's rocking. It's rocking. So it may be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It may be Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Make sure you hit those notifications and tell a friend to tell a friend. We got Kayaris Eason with the $5 super sticker.
Straight cash, homie.
Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support, man. This was an incredible show, man. We got the chat involved. I'm sorry, man. We had so much chat participation. I wish I can read every chat, but it gets overwhelming, especially when I'm trying to concentrate on the guests. Obviously, I want the guests to be able to talk, and I want this to be a two-way dialogue. I can't just zone them out. So I can't read every single chat. But you guys were cooking. I was taking a peek at them whenever I could. And you guys were showing King Cam love. You guys were showing Coach Marcus Walker love. And some of you guys were showing me love, and I definitely appreciate that. And I definitely want you guys to reach out to me on DM. Coach Donald Green was in the building. Reach out to me, man. We got to get something up. Maybe we get Hannah Gabriel's up in here with you together, whatever, man. We interview them all here. I love doing these interviews, man, because I want my viewers to get a perspective of not just the boxer, but the person. And that's why I wanted to talk about, Cam's upbringing, what motivated him to become a fighter, what drives him, who are his boxing inspirations, who was he trying to be like when he was coming up the ranks stylistically. What did he like? What does a fighter like to do when they're not fighting? Because a lot of times we just seeing them in the ring. I want to know what they're doing when they're not in the ring, right? I think that's interesting. So the questions that I'm asking, I mean, they may be a little selfish, but I'm thinking that everybody else wants to know these answers to those questions as well. So I'm trying to ask the questions that I feel that everybody wants the answers to, man. And that's why I keep it real like that. That's how we do it up here, man. But we've had a lot. We've had a lot going on. Hopefully I did not miss any super chats. That's one thing, man. If you take the time out to show me love, and donate and drop a brother, a donation, I want to make sure that I take the time out to say I appreciate you and read your chat. So hopefully I'm going to go through this real quick to make sure I didn't forget anybody. But I see some familiar faces in here. I see a lot of new faces in the chat. My man Rich Big Bonce is in the building. Appreciate you, brother. Rocking out. There you go, Coach Green. You definitely have a special gift within him, and the gift come within you. So other coach, you continue to be within him and him within you, always and forever. Obviously, that was for Coach Marcus Walker and King Cam Walker, Kamauriay King Cam Walker. So again, Coach, I'm sorry I wasn't able to read that while they were on here. and some of these other chats that are in here. Diggy Hollister, man, I just want to thank you again, and for the $50 super sticker. That's extremely generous. We had a couple people that actually provided a $50 super sticker. Sean Banks with a $20 super chat. I mean, that shit was absolutely dope. And then another $50 super sticker for Sean Banks. Jamar Taylor, again, I love you. I got to check out your brand. We gonna rock with your brand. We're gonna rock with your brand. So I appreciate the $20 super chat, man, and putting that out there, not just for me, but for my viewers, man. We had Cam's family members coming there, not just showing their support for Cam, but showing their support for me. So I just want to say that means a lot to me. Y'all family too. We all family. Anybody that comes to the Hangout spot, whether they are a fighter, a guest, a trainer, or they're in my chats, just showing love and commenting with each other. Y'all all family, man. Y'all all family, man. And I expect to see y'all back here because it don't stop. It only gets better and better and better with what we're putting out here. We want to put out the biggest and best contents. And if you guys have not, for you guys on Facebook that are watching on Facebook Live, make sure y'all come to YouTube eventually. Subscribe to the Hangout spot. But I appreciate it. Looks like I'm getting some love on Facebook as well with some likes. We're trying some different things. We're trying to stream across multiple platforms. Today was YouTube and Facebook. I'm going to start putting it out there on video, Twitter or X as well, just to try to get more people engaged so they see what we're doing here at the Hangout spot, because what we're building here is something special. And just like, me wanting to be a part of a young fighter, his rise to greatness, I want y'all to be a part of what we're doing here at the Hangout spot, because we are striving for greatness. We putting in that work, not just behind the camera. Tomorrow, Kamauriay Royale, Orlando, I will be live and direct for the Box Lab Promotions card that will be live, streaming live on DAZN. If you have DAZN and a subscription, make sure you check out Night of Champions 10 tomorrow, live from Kamauriay Royale. Great array of young fighters is going to be off the hook. I've worked numerous Box Lab cards, Night of Champion cards, and they never disappoint. Trust me when I tell you, I've seen these fighters before. Watch it. You won't be disappointed. I will be boots to ground. And when I'm boots to ground, if y'all check out the Hangout spot, I do live interviews. I get fighters. I get trainers. So it's not just here. It's in the field that we're putting in the work, man. So that's why, I appreciate all the love that and support that I get here from the community during these shows, man. I love it. Hopefully y'all loved it too. This interview was phenomenal. It doesn't stop. Next week we will be back at it. We're not doing a Monday show because I'm actually taking a long weekend and I got to show wifey some love. It's quality time. It's a long weekend. Easter is Sunday. So Monday I'm taking off. So me and wifey are going to do the whole QT thing, right? Because you can't forget about wifey. You can't forget about wifey. I date wifey, man. So, we going to date. We're going to go on a date on Monday. So I'm not doing a Monday show, but Tuesday we will be right back at it, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And our guest will be none other than super featherweight, undefeated super featherweight, Dominic Valle, who is 10-0 with 7 knockouts. He's from Florida, but he is from Puerto Rican descent. He fights out of Pro Box, and his trainer is my guy, Coach Mark Ferre, who is also the coach of the chosen one, Edgar Berlanga. Again, he's going to be fighting May 10th. Pro Box is putting on a card here in Kissimmee. Of course, yours truly will be working that card because I work all the Florida cards, especially the Pro Box cards. Shout out to Pro Box. They my boxing family. Shout out to Box Lab Promotions. They family. Shout out to Undisputed Promotions, who's also going to be in the building tomorrow. They family as well. But yeah, May 10th, Pro Box is back in Florida, in Kissimmee. The headliner will be the Hammer, 154-pound title contender. The Hammer, Erickson Lubin. He will be in the main event against undefeated Ardrell Holmes. And then you got Najee Lopez, who is a light heavyweight prospect, undefeated, trained by Mark Ferre. You got undefeated middleweight prospect, Darrell Blast Valsaint, trained by Mark Ferre. He'll be fighting. And then you got my guest on Tuesday, Dominic Valle, Puerto Rican from Florida, 10-0, 7 knockouts. He'll be fighting May 10th, trained by Mark Ferre. And that's going to be a great interview because like King Cam, Dominic Valle is another fighter that has a lot going for himself outside of boxing. He also models. So Mark Ferre told me specifically, again, Mark Ferre is my guy that He doesn't even need to fight. He's got so many things going on outside of boxing, but he loves to fight. You know, he comes from a fighting family. His brothers are professional fighters, but he also has a beautiful wife and a family. You know, so that's going to be a great interview. So make sure you guys tune in Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at the Hangout Spot. And then we'll do our normal shows, obviously, next week as well. So I'll let you guys know on Tuesday what we're going to be doing either Wednesday or Thursday or maybe even both. We got a lot of good fights, you know, on the horizon. So we can't forget about those. Let's not forget on the screen I just put up May 3rd. I'm sorry, this is actually May 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. I might have the date wrong. I think May 3rd is the Saturday card with Canelo, unless I got my calendar screwed up. But anyhow, Friday, Times Square, New York City, something that's never been done before. They're gonna put a ring in the middle of the Times Square city traffic. I don't know how that's gonna work as far as dynamics, but I'm always aboard on seeing something that is totally different. This is new. This is different. It's never been done before. Fatal Fury in Times Square. You got Ryan Garcia making his return. In fact, I believe this Sunday, his suspension for the Austrian over the whole Devin Haney, controversy, that's over this Sunday. So it's a year to the date from last year, or April 20th. This is this Sunday. So that's when the suspension is over. He's going to be fighting May 2nd, Times Square against Rolando Rolly Romero. Then you got Devin the Dream Haney, also a year layoff coming back from that fight. He's going to be fighting against former champion Jose Ramirez. And then you got Teofimo Lopez, the takeover, former 2-division unified champion. He's going to be fighting against Arnold Barboza in a grudge match. That's going to be crazy. That whole weekend is going to be absolutely insane because the next day, then you got Canelo Alvarez going for his second undisputed at 168 against William Skull from Cuba, who has the IBF portion of that strap. So if Canelo wins, he's undisputed again. Potentially going into a fight against Terrence Crawford, in September. So that's on Saturday. Jaime Munguia, the rematch between Bruno Saras, the guy that actually put him to sleep. That's the rematch. That's going to be on the undercard. You got a heavyweight battle between Martin Bakoli and Effie Ajagba. That's on that card. That's Saturday in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh season. And then Sunday, we got the return of Naoya, the monster, Inoue, the Japanese monster. He's going to be returning to the States. He's fighting on Sunday on a top-ranked card. So you got fights on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It don't get any better than that. It don't get any better than that. Just like it doesn't get any better than today's interview with King Cam Walker, who was in the building. So if you guys did not check out that interview, make sure you check it out in totality. It will not disappoint. It was great. The chat was on fire. The support was on fire. But I'm about to tap out, man, because this was an excellent show. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And again, for showing love. Apologize. I couldn't read out of the chats. But as we grow, this is what it's going to be, man. This is what it's going to be, man. But I appreciate all the love and support. As always, this is your boy Johnny, signing out from the Hangout Spot Live, and I will see everybody next week. But make sure you stay in tune with the channel because we're throwing out shorts for over the weekend. All right? Take care. Love you guys. Appreciate the support. See you guys next week. Peace.